What's up, everybody? How you doing? Nick Murphy. How you doing? So we got Sherrod, we got AJ, we got Joe. How's everyone doing? Is there a way? Can I pop this out? Can everyone hear me? Okay. I would. Again, our Yeti broke down, so the Yeti that I usually have here again is now at our studio, so my sound is not great. I'm using the sound through this camera right here, so let me know in the cheat. Um, um, and AJ, I saw you were talking about graphics and music without breaking the bank. That is a solid question and in issue. What's up, Dave Phillips? I would say for hi Cheryl. For graphics, I mean you're gonna have to shell out some money for that. For music, there's a ton of royalty-free music out there. I mean, a grip of royalty-free music. Go to Incomptech, Incomptech, I believe, incomptech.com. It's literally like thousands of royalty-free songs. The guy who makes most of them does it for free. Seems to be super cool, all this kind of stuff. So like that's a place to get free music. That song you hear, our soon song, this one right here, that one right there, that's from Incomptech. That's where that is from. So music isn't an issue. The problem with I hear it sounds a bit echoey, distant, but that explains it. I can probably switch it. Hold on, let me switch it over real quick. Hold on. It is distant, but I could also use the what's it called? The microphone from this one. I was just worried that it was going to be too close. But let's see. Let's see if it makes it a little less echoey. Because the problem is it is not close to me, that one. It is relatively far away. And so let me see if I can switch this up. But yeah, graphics, AJ, that's more. You're either gonna have to do them yourself or hire someone to do it. Unless you know someone super cool who can do them. Our graphics and such. All right, switching the microphone now. Let's see. How is that too loud now? Hello. Let me know if that needs to come up or down because the microphone is significantly closer to my head. A big fat head. We had our whole Twitch stream, our whole setup, all of our graphics and stuff. We paid someone to do it. That's what it comes down to. Is we paid someone. One of our good friends sets up Twitch channels for a living, and so we hired him to set up ours. That's what we did. You know, we had to spend a decent amount of money, but that's what it was. Not too loud. A bit more. Okay. Thank you. Again, once I have my Yeti back, that will change things. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna be painting today. Hello, Quicksand. How are you? We're gonna be painting today. We're gonna be painting Ms. Medusa and then Miss Alice here. We are going to be painting them. I just realized I probably just moved them out of frame, didn't I? No, I did not. Okay. Going to be painting them. Here, where can I put this? I'm gonna put it over here so I can actually see it and actually pay attention to what's going on. Hey, what's up, Rolf? How you doing? Okie dokie. So we're going to be painting, or rather we're going to be highlighting Medusa and Alice from Unmatched. These are actually the last two I have to do. I've been working, Mike and I are been doing a video with the Unmatched recently. I don't know, oh, gosh, soon rather. And so I wanted to finish these up this weekend. I already did the other four, painted and highlighted them. So Bigfoot, Robin Hood, Sinbad, and King Arthur are all done. There's a little bit I want to do to a couple of their bases, but for the most part, they are done. All right, Rolf, no worries, no worries. And no problem, Rock. Just always let us know, brother. And so today I have these two left to do. This is I got to highlight Medusa and highlight Alice, and that is it. The other ones are all done. And then I can go take some pretty pictures of them. Oops, didn't mean to hit that. So let me show you the other ones. So we have Robin Hood here. So you can get that focused up. So Robin Hood, he was probably honestly the most boring miniature. He's just kind of normal, and he is his cloak was more fun to highlight than I thought it was going to be. But he's kind of just like, he's just a guy holding a bow. On top of that, because he's Robin Hood and he's like a woodsman and he does that kind of stuff, I also didn't want to make him. I couldn't use any like fun colors with him. I basically was like, I got to make him kind of all green and brown because that's more or less how Robin Hood is. King Arthur, I think, turned out really, really nice. I think this is also a great starter mini if you're not good at painting minis or very new to it. But his dress here, I still can't remember what it's called. His dress was fun to paint, and then capes are always the funnest thing to paint because it's very intuitive how to highlight them. The light's kind of blowing it out. There's more color variation in his cape. But capes are fun to paint. They're very intuitive of how to highlight. And they're just overall a good time. And his pose is pretty simple, so it wasn't super dynamic and difficult to paint. But I actually think he turned out really, really good, even though after the base coat, he was probably the one I was like, I'm not really digging the way he looks. Sinbad, I painted on stream, he turned out really good. I think he's probably turned out the best. He's, again, a good practice one because there's a lot of minis out there that are like shirtless, muscular dudes, and so it's good to practice. And he has a lot of musculature, particularly in his back, and highlighting his skin was really, really fun. And I got to do his pantaloons in a kind of cool bluish purple color, and he's just got a cool dynamic pose. And I think he turned out really, really good. Actually, I'm very, very excited with how Sinbad turned out. What's up, Rosie? I love you with every ounce of my being. And then Bigfoot is just cool. It came out pretty cool. So the rest of them, I just painted their bases the same color as them, and I'm going to put like an insignia on each of their bases. But Bigfoot is standing on top of this big old rock, and it takes up almost his entire base. So I was like, well, screw it. I'm just going to do kind of an outdoorsy base, although his base color here is technically brown because I did match all their colors to their cards. But nonetheless, Bigfoot turned out really, really good. It was the first time I've ever done anything like hairy like this. And he turned out great. I think the log turned out great. I really like the way the base turned out. Bigfoot, I think, looks pretty darn cool. So I'm actually pretty pumped with how all these minis are coming out. They're all cool. My least favorite, again, is Robin Hood because I just think he's the most boring. But even then, he's fine. It's nothing wrong. But the other minis, I think, actually turned out really, really cool. And even ones like King Arthur that I thought were kind of not boring minis, but just kind of, not that fun of poses. Sinbad's got a really fun pose. I think they turned out pretty good. And so I'm pretty pumped about that. All right. And I think, by the way, that my stream is like mega delayed for whatever reason. It's where am I right here? Yeah, so my stream, by the way, is like probably it's about, I'd say, a minute and a half behind the input or out, what the hell it's called, output, I don't know. Basically, when it gets to you, it's like a minute and a half behind. So if you ask a question, it's gonna take me like 2 minutes to answer it. Just BT dubs, I'm not ignoring you. Almost Morgator, thank you so much. I also snagged this little light thingy off of David, which is nice because now I can light these minis when I'm painting them and stuff like that. But the light, I don't have to use this light anymore. Because remember, I used to always have like this. He used to blow out my face like that. So we're getting my streaming situation a little bit, getting it a little bit better. Okay, so who should I start with? Let me know. 90-second delay is impressive. Yeah, it's real bad. I don't know if that's my internet connection here or just my computer or what. I mean, this computer is at this point has needed an update drastically. But you let me know, which one should I start with, Medusa or Alice? Alice will probably be easier. Her model is relatively simple. There's not too much. You want taco? Yes, I do want a taco very badly. Her pose is pretty easy, very cool, but very easy. Medusa is going to be a decent amount harder because she has her big web of just snakes coming off her dome. And then she also has a very pretty, very flowy dress. She's probably, despite the fact that she's just kind of standing, she's probably the coolest miniature. She's just badass. So, well, that was 90 seconds. Maybe it fluctuates. Maybe. I hope it goes down. A lot of times it tends to struggle in the beginning. I also finally figured out how to get music to come through this Streamlabs at home. It wasn't a big issue at all, but here is always an issue. So let me know if this is too loud or if you would like it louder. For the most part, I want you to be able to hear me. But let me know. Parents said, more paint time. Whee! I want heavy, land on the Valentina. That's probably a little too loud. Nice. All right, so once someone lets me know who to start with, we'll go ahead and start there. And how's everyone's weekend going? My weekend's been good. Just been painting the whole weekend. I'm trying to get this done. It could go a bit louder. Okay. This is also a relatively quiet song. Mike's not there to yell. Dang, that's accurate. Medusa. Okay, Cheryl. Thank you. Thank you for making an executive decision. Alrighty. All right, Medusa. Okay, so we're going to take out my mixing brush, my blending brush, and then my detail brush. Bang. Paul said, hey, it's bro from Twitch the other night. What game are those models from? Star Wars Duel Remake? Yes, exactly that. They are from Unmatched rather, which is the Star Wars Epic Duel Remake. Medusa. Okay, we're going to start with Medusa. We should probably just do her snakes first because I think that's going to be the most time-consuming and difficult part. And I'm trying to figure out, I don't want her snakes to be all one color. That's kind of, it's too loud, you're too old. Yeah, I don't want her snakes to be all one color. But I also don't want to spend so much time making them different colors that it's going to take me like 3 hours. I really would like to finish both of these tonight. Luckily, the rest of the highlighting has not been taking that long, honestly, which is nice. So, I gotta figure out how the heck I want to do this. I may have to keep them somewhat. Yeah, these are going to be interesting to paint, honestly. They're going to be pretty tough. Found Masters of Orion for $6.99 at Ollie's. Cool game and a steal. That is cool. What's Ollie's? I don't know what Ollie's is. Sounds interesting. Ollie's. Okay. So I got to make my base. I also want them to be like pretty green because her skin is also green, but it's a very kind of pale grayish green, and so I need her hair to not blend into her skin. Or I guess hair is such an odd term, but yes. So let's do. So basically, how I've been doing my highlighting is I have a base color and then I take a second color and I'm just adding that lighter color to the base color and in stages and going lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter until I'm done. I guess I will use this. Okay. Discount store in the South. Okay, cool. Ollie's, I've never heard of that. Very, very cool. And feel free to ask me questions, fam, about, you know, whatever, within reason, of course. But just because we're in this one together, and we're probably going to be here for a while, and this is a very chill stream. I'm glad that I have music on, so now when I'm not talking and no one else is talking, it's not just, like, silent, which I find to be very awkward. So, I don't know. And also, if any volume, whether it's my mic or the music or whatever needs to go up or down, please let me know. Not sure where else. I've never heard of it, Perrin, but I also haven't spent much time in the South, so that'll probably do it. So I'm keeping my paints really thin for this. I really don't want very strong layer lines. I want it to be a pretty smooth gradient. I've also been adding, I got, or rather Tall David, my roommate, has an airbrush that he used for some of his minis that I have then acquired, or borrowed rather. And so I was getting stuff for airbrushes, and so I did get this airbrush flow improver, and what this does is it helps make airbrush paints flow better, but one of the main things is it's a retardant, and so it keeps paint from drying. Or rather, it doesn't keep it forever, but it slows down the drying process. So for something like this, because I'm not working with a wet palette right now, I've been adding my flow enhancer. This might be too thin, but we'll see. I've been adding my flow enhancer to slow down the drying time because it's sitting on my palette for a while. Says Nick in silence. Have I made it awkward yet? No, Cheryl, you can't make things awkward. Are from Cali? We are from Cali, indeed. I'm going to try and make sure I have this on camera the entire time. I love to do that where I'm painting over here and literally no one can see what I'm painting. Okay. The silence finds you awkward. Dave Phillips, you ain't wrong, baby. All right. So now basically what I'm doing is I'm going back over my base coat, which I treated with a wash. Is there a reason? Okay, there we go. Where'd my music go? I'm going back over it because the wash darkened everything. So now I'm going back over all the high points. I tried like wet blending her hair like I had been wet blending other stuff, and that did not work. It just didn't look right at all. I just didn't want all the snakes to be one color, but I guess it's fine if they more or less are. And I can always introduce a color later. What did everyone do this weekend? Let me know. Talk to me. This is going to be maybe the weirdest thing I've ever highlighted, this hair. This is going to be interesting to highlight for multiple reasons. One, because I have to highlight it as I would highlight anything where I have a light source. My light sources are always coming from directly above, generally. I literally just said always and generally in the same sentence, which is an oxymoron. But the thing is, I need to make sure all her snakes stand out on top of the fact that I have to highlight it lighting-wise, which is very weird. You played viticulture, it took 18 hours? What do you mean? Explain yourself, Cheryl. G'day, Nick. Aussie Solo Gamer. Where are you from, Aussie Solo Gamer? Chechnya? What paints do you recommend as a base starter set? Cheers, mate. I would suggest any starter set, really. People ask me this question a lot. There's no wrong answer. There's like a Citadel starter set. There's like a Vallejo starter set. There's an Army Painter starter set. Any one of those starter sets will be absolutely fine. There is no like, this one is the best and you need to start with this one. Nah, none of that. It's just not necessary. The only thing I will say is do not get normal paint. Get paint made for mini painting. There's a reason why they make it the way they do, and it is better for mini painting than if you're just going to like a Michaels or whatever the Australian equivalent of a Michaels is. You know, a hobby store or a craft store or whatever. Don't use that paint. That paint is not made for this. Miniature paints tend to have a very high pigment, which means they're very saturated with color. Much more so than normal acrylic paints. So I would say start with any of them. Find a cheap one. You don't have to go Citadel. Citadel is the most expensive one. I use Citadel paints because I'm bougie like that. Which is half joke, half kind of true. But you do not need to use Citadel paints. They are not necessarily better than Vallejo or Army Painter or P3 or a whole bunch of the other ones. So I would say get whatever your heart tells you to get. And that's kind of a crappy answer. I know you're probably like, Nick, just tell me exactly what to get. But really, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. They're all the same. Just get something that is made for mini painting. That's my suggestion for a base starter set. And what I would say is you don't need a ton. You do not need a billion colors. You don't need a billion shades of blue, a billion shades of gray, a billion shades of red, all that kind of stuff. You don't need that. Get, 15, 20. Again, a lot of times will come in one of those starter sets. And then you can mix. You can mix paints. You don't need every single color of paint. They can offer you every single color of paint, and it is very convenient having them all because then you never need to mix paint. You're like, oh, I need a grayish blue. Cool, I'll just grab this grayish blue. Or you can take a blue, add some gray to it, and then you got grayish blue. And so it's one of those things, you don't need to break the bank by getting a billion paints right out the gate. You can kind of build. What I did is over time, I just slowly built my collection. I had some basic ones, and I was like, ooh, I want to paint this mini this color. So I went out and got the paints I needed. And then I had those colors. And then I got another game, and I was like, ooh, I want to paint this one this color. And I went and I got those colors. And so that's how I'd suggest doing it is, unless you got mad squirrel like that, build it slowly and start with whatever your heart tells you to. And you also, if you start getting, Citadel and you want to switch over to whatever, switch. You don't need to stick with all one thing. That's my very, very, very long answer. That where I ultimately said, get whatever you want. I could have easily shortened that answer by, I don't know how long, but we're going to be here for a while. So if you don't know much about me, you will know that I answer questions in very long-winded ways that don't actually tell you anything. So going back, Paul said, I hosted a villainous party. Fun. Played a 9-player game. God, that could not have been fun. How was that? Was that terrible? I'm sorry, that must have been terrible. Finished with Deception. That's a good game. And I like Villainous, but I like Villainous specifically at 3 players. Rock said we played Harry Potter, Hogwarts Battle, Portal of Heroes, and Betrayal Legacy, which is my least favorite game of all time. It makes me never want to play a Betrayal game ever again. Rock, please, without spoiling anything, tell me why, because I have never had any interest in Betrayal, and that's surprising. Joel said, I played Bargain Quest, Illustrations of the Snake Oil, great times. Gridmaster Raid, it was very interesting. Okay, Quicksand, may you elaborate on that? I'm curious. I want to try that one. Help with a hamburger sale. Dope, dope. There are a lot of good starter paint sets comparison on videos of you. That's very, very true. But in the end, I really think you can pick anything. Hello, Restoration Games. I'm guessing Justin Jacobson. How are you, my good man? I'm working on Medusa right now. I'll quick show you the other ones. I finished... We're going to be doing Alice tonight as well. But I finished the other 4. So we got Rubin Hood, Focus. I kept Robin Hood pretty dark and pretty desaturated because I wanted, he's a woods guy. He wouldn't have bright colors. We got Arthur, who I think turned out really, really good, and I'm pretty pumped with how Arthur turned out. And his cloak is, again, better than it looks on camera. It doesn't look that great. Sinbad, who is, I think, turned out really, really good. I'm very pumped with how Sinbad turned out. And again, I'll take better pictures of these. The lighting is a little harsh to show these off really, really well. And then Bigfoot, who I actually gave like a real base to because he's standing on the top of this big-ass rock. I figured I might as well throw some sand and stuff on it. So he's a woods guy. So boom. Pretty pumped. Okay, fam. Everyone calm down. Okay, so now I'm going to be adding a little bit of Ogren camo to my Warpstone glow. I'm going to add Ogren camo to this a little bit at a time, and we're going to build up the highlights that way. Awesome advice, Citadels. It is. Cheers, Nick. You got it, Aussie. Ooh, was that too much? Was that too much? That might have been too much, but that's okay. I'm going to add a little more water just because I want to keep this thin and I want to keep it from drying out. That might have been a little too harsh. Let me add a little bit more of this Warpstone. I will, Mr. Justin. I'll try and take some good pictures of them after the stream. We're making that video, so we wanted to have painted minis for it. I use Army Painter and Citadel. I really like Army Painter primers. That's the only Army Painter I use, but I really like Army Painter primers. Villainous was fun. It did take a while, but it was in a good community. We had 2 Fate tokens going around to avoid ganging up on players. Very cool. Did anyone watch the UFC fights? Did anyone see Mikey's commercial like in real life? And can everyone hear the music okay? I want to make sure it is sounding good but isn't too invasive. Ooh, I think her snakes are going to be dope once they're all highlighted. Thanks, Aussie. I appreciate you. Tips for getting highlights to blend into a base color. Mine always look kind of paint stripey. Thin them down significantly. That's because I hate that paint stripey look. I'm with you. And the paint stripey is because your paints are too thick. Thin them down. You can thin them down with just water. And that will be probably sufficient. You can also use, if you're really worried about the consistency of the paint, you can use Lamian medium. Lamian medium is specifically so you can change the paint thickness, but without changing the paint properties. Because as you thin it down with water, you will start to lose pigment and you will start to lose saturation of the paint. Lamy and medium, you can thin it down without doing that, which is cool. Problem is Lamy and medium is like a $5 for one of those little pots that lasts you a while, but water is free for the most part. So I don't see it being that necessary. I have Lamy and medium because I like to thin my washes down with Lamy and medium, because my washes, I want them to be thinner a lot of times, but I don't want to lose any pigment, and so I use it specifically to thin down my washes. Although if I'm really worried about a paint, I will thin it down with that, but I don't find that to be necessary personally. But thin them down. Thin them down. That is the issue. You can also, I have this brush out here, right here, which I'm not using right now because I'm not going to need it in this intricate of an area. But particularly if you're doing like a big swath of an area, like say King Arthur's dress thing, I still don't know what the hell it's called. Here, that's a big round area. That's very difficult to get a smooth gradient on. So what you can do is you can keep a damp brush nearby, something nice, keep it damp with water, and then when you put down the tiger stripe, you can take the damp brush and you can feather out the edges. You can feather them out a little bit, and it'll smoothen out that gradient significantly and make it look a little bit less stripy. Because I, too, do not like that look. So Downward Trail is only okay, but my experience with only 3 games to go is that Legacy has a lot of fun problems. The haunts start way too fast. It's very hard to find any items. Okay. It's extremely favored towards the trader. All right. I probably wasn't going to play it anyway, to be completely honest. It's just not my kind of game and not a game that I've ever had much interest in, despite the fact that I love the designer with all my heart. It's just not my kind of game, you know? But that's good to know. Ooh, I think these snakes are going to look freaking dope when they're done. Also, if you are like me and your hands shake like this, which my hands do, get one of these bases. These bases, because I can brace my thumb, the heel of my hand against it and paint like that, and it really, really helps. If you're like me and you have a tremor. Which, fun story, a doctor thought I had a tremor because I did a lot of drugs, and I don't. And he did not believe me, the fact that I didn't do drugs. He's like, yeah, one of these things can cause you is like excessive drug use. I'm like, that's cool, man. I don't do drugs, but that's good to know. And he's like, I'm a doctor. I can't tell your parents. So like, you can tell me, man. And I was like, no, I don't do drugs, dude. And he's just like, seriously, I'm telling you right now, it is illegal for me to tell your parents. Like, it's just between you and me. I just kind of need to know. And I was like, no, I don't do drugs. And I eventually yelled at him because he would not let it go. Eventually I was like, dude, I don't do fucking drugs. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. I don't think he ever believed me, though. What an ass. That's not the way to go about that. You're a crappy doctor. I didn't like that guy after that. Dress thing tunic? I don't know. I still know what it's called. Music is just right, maybe even a little bit quiet. Okay, I'll turn it up a little bit. We'll get it going. We'll get this music in this. I just want to make sure you can hear me. I'm the star. What's up, Mr. Roy? How are you, beautiful man? Have you not played this yet? How? I think I finally found a, I'm not going to judge you because of all the drugs that you do.
I believe that you will judge me based on all the drugs I do. Dude, that doctor pissed me off. I did show. I told the doctor, I was like, hey, why don't you just, actually do your job? Oh my gosh. Because I was worried that he was going to, like, tell my mom that, like, he suspected I was on drugs. And, like, I wasn't. Oh my God. Like, it was driving me crazy. I was really worried. I was like, dude, like, get this out of your head, man. I don't do drugs. And don't go tell my mom that you suspect that I'm doing drugs. You ass. All right, so that's the first highlight layer. So now again, I'm only gonna be hitting the spots with the subsequent highlights on the spots where the light would be hitting. The light is directly above, so you can kind of see it here. Like this part, this protrusion right here of all these snakes, that part, but like the back down in here, I'm not gonna be highlighting any of that because that would not hit the sun, or the light rather, whatever it is, just directly above. It's always called the flappy thing. Hi, Mary Lou. How you doing, Zen? First signs of drug use, denial, and rage. Tabard. It might be called a tabard. A tabard and a scabbard are too close. I don't like the fact those too close because I confuse them. First, they make a video about being dealers. Paint started drying in my brush. This highlighting process is taking too damn long. Face the camera, Medusa. Does anyone have Nick's mom's number? I think we should let her know. Don't do that. She wouldn't believe you. She knows how I am. Our mother absolutely knows that we don't do drugs. Roy, when's your guys' next convention? Are you guys pumped that, like, are you... Sorry, everybody. I don't know what the hell happened with that disconnection. It randomly was just like, nah, afraid not. That's it. My apologies, people. I don't know where the hell I went. Probably went to go do some drugs, according to that doctor, you know what I mean? Sorry about that, everybody. I gotta stop doing so many drugs. That's the problem. Dun, 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 dun. How can you have time for drugs when you spend all time playing board game making content? It would cut into your board game. Nah, it depends on the drugs you're doing, dude. If you're doing cocaine, man, it ups the amount of stuff you can do. You know how much stuff you can get done when you're on a massive, truly irresponsible amount of cocaine, dude? Like, you can get a lot done. You can get a lot done. Let's just put it that way. You can get a lot done. I want someone this to be like their first time really hanging out in the chat being like, I did not know the Bros Murph were such cokeheads. The Dice Tower retreat at the beginning of next month, but then the guys are going to Essen. Yeah, that's That's in October at least. I'm just so happy we have a bit of a break. I love convention season, but man, oh man, is it exhausting. But I love it. But yeah, our next one that we know of, at least, unless something comes up, is PAX Unplugged. And I'm like, yes, it's so far away. Stop shaking hands! Stop it. Stop it. I'm doing precision work, you stupid hands. Ooh, ooh, that's looking good. No BGG Con, not as far as we know. If BGG really wants us there, down. But as far as we know, no. It's tough going to things like any cons because we have to get there. Luckily, Restoration Games, who is the best game company ever, brings us to a decent amount of cons. But like, you know, BGG Con's in Texas, which means we have to get to Texas. Not to mention get a hotel and all that kind of stuff. It's like it greatly adds the cost of those, and not to mention BGG Con is also right before PAX Unplugged, and that's a lot to do in a small amount of time like that. AJ Rager's wife, y'all should come to Dice Tower West. It's very, very fun. You going for a wedding, said Mary Lou. Okay. Very fun. Have Edge of Darkness set up to play on my table. Anyone played it solo yet? No. No, I sure haven't. No, I sure haven't. Kenneth Maxwell said, is it first live stream? I didn't know the brothers were such cokeheads. I want to get that on a shirt. All right, we're going to punch up this highlight. I'm probably going to do like one, maybe two more on the snakes, and that's it. I'm not doing a ton. I'm not highlighting them forever. This is not like a competition, you know, in terms of, again, if I was, you know, doing like a competition mini painting, you end up doing stuff to like crazy degrees. I just can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. But, ooh, that might be too much water. That might be too much water. Oh, well. So depending on the thing of what it is, I'm highlighting a lot. So like say like King Arthur, his dress or his cape, you know, I probably did like 7 or 8 varying levels of highlight going up, 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 up. But for something like, and same with like Robin Hood's a better example. So basically for his I don't know, coat, trench coat, whatever the hell the thing's called, I probably did like 6 or 7 highlights. But his pants, or especially something like his shoes, aren't nearly as important. So I only did like 3, or I only did like 4. So depending on what I think is the most important part of the model, I'll highlight it further. Her snake hair is pretty darn important, so I'm gonna highlight it not to a crazy amount, but a decent degree. You're hopefully doing Unplugged? Roy, do it. It was probably my favorite convention of last year. It was so good. It's the perfect mix of gaming and buying. Something like Gen Con is all buying. Something like Dice Tower Con is all gaming. PAX Unplugged was a true middle ground. So good. I've shaken hands, but I still paint decently. I hear you, Joe. You can get around. A lot of people holds them back. Like my handshake, it's like you can still paint. I want to go to Dice Tower West too and be with my friends. Yeah, it's fun. Dice Tower West is great. Just set up Terraforming Mars, ready for a solo game. Enjoy your day, everyone. Keep with the great work, Brothers Murph. I really enjoy your channel. Aussie, I really enjoy your face. I don't know what it looks like, but I'm sure it's beautiful. And thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it. Yeah, Marilee knows. Pax and Plug was great. It's all the Tom and such. Oh, for sure, for sure. And there is a lot of good food in Philly. You're not wrong about that, Zen. I think the message here is that if you're playing games with Nick at a con, just know he'd rather be shopping. You damn right, Dave Phillips. You know how I do. I'm bougie like that, girl. The good thing about highlighting is every highlight you do, you're doing less. So the first highlight always takes the longest because you have to basically cover up the entire thing except for the biggest recesses. Okay. 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 Interesting. All right. Super excited for the cruise. Me too. If anyone did not see Mikey's tweet / Instagram, we are going on the cruise. Mike and I will be on the cruise. We weren't sure if we're going to be able to do it, but we are. So we will be there. That is a good time to sit around and play games with us. I just said I need to be better at playing games. At Gen Con sounds crazy. We don't play too much. As you said, it's all buying. But Gen Con, to me, that's not a huge deal at Gen Con. At Gen Con, like, the emphasis is on buying. Not to mention, there's just not many places to play games. Other than, like, people's hotel rooms. Honestly, there's not much. Which isn't really Gen Con's fault. They don't have anywhere to put people. So that's okay. We actually played, like, gosh, we played like 3 or 4 games while we were there. That was, at least for us, is unheard of. Last year, we played, I think, like 1 game with people, and that is it. Like, so this year, we were pumped. We got to play like 4 games. We were like, dude, this is awesome. We're going to play a ton of games. So for Gen Con, I never go into it expecting to play games. I think it's totally fine if you don't. But that's one of the reasons why we have our meetup and why we wanted our meetup this year to be much, much more relaxed and chill than it was the year before, is because we wanted the emphasis to be on like playing games with people, not about just like, hey, come meet the Brothers Murph. It's more like, hey, like, come meet the Brothers Murph, but let's just hang out and play games. And that's why this year's event was amazing, and I want it like that every single time. Yeah, and as Roy is saying, the cruise is the best gaming thing he's ever gone to, and from what I hear, it sounds like that. A perfect mix of like relaxing and kind of doing whatever you want in gaming. And it sounds dope. Whoa. So this last highlight, I'm really only hitting the spots that are facing more or less straight up. Yeah, I wish I hadn't done that one. The sun goes down. The sun goes down. You want to play a game with Nick? I'm going to have to trap him on a boat with no one going down to do. That's right, baby. It costs money to do that. Sun goes down. Sorry, I'm painting off camera again. I was doing detailed stuff. I was like, I gotta see it. Sun goes down. Okay. I'm gonna do one more highlight. This is dumb. I don't need to do this. No, I don't need to do this. Hold on. Should I do this? Nah, I'm not gonna do a highlight. I know, Mary Lee. We're gonna play a game with the cruise, though, guaranteed. Like we're gonna have time. I completely agree, Cheryl. In our Discord, by the way, if you go to, let me just put it in here. Although I don't think this will make a link, but. Oh my gosh, now. If you go there, you can join our Discord. Our Discord rules, but yes, as Cheryl said, there's people planning like little mini get-togethers. Like, hey, who's in the Seattle area? Who's in the da-da-da-da area, you know, whatever, and planning little get-togethers. And I was talking to my roommate about it, but we got to start planning Bing Bong Con. That has got to start happening soon. Okay, so that is her hair. You can see the highlights again are on spots that are hitting the light, and the light is directly overhead, so you can really see it. The part down here lower back is not highlighted at all, and that's what you want. So that looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're gonna do her skin. Her skin is a base tone of Ogren Camo here, which is kind of like a weird yellowish green. So I'm gonna have this again be my base, and I'm gonna highlight it with poop on a stick. I'm gonna do it with some Celestia gray. I don't want to do it with white. White takes out too much of the color. So I'm gonna do it with a Celestia Gray. This is my thing. I'm not gonna highlight her skin very much because honestly, there's not too much to highlight. A bit of her leg right here, her 2 arms, and then her face. That's it. And so the rest of the time for this one is actually gonna be spent on her dress, which will be kind of interesting to highlight, especially around the snakes. But so, we'll go ahead and do this bing bong, you freaking bing bongs. Sun goes down, sun goes down. Again, so a little bit of water to thin it down, and then I'm going to add 1 drop of flow enhancer to slow down that dry-in time. And I hope everyone enjoys these. I'm glad that we have music now because it makes me feel way less uncomfortable. I get very, very anxious when like no one's asking any questions, so I have nothing to talk about, and everything's just sitting there in silence. I get really, really anxious, and so I'm glad we have music. Because if anyone was there during my art streams where I was drawing the Wakanda Forever piece, it's like I would be drawing for like 6-8 hours, and I was like, we can't be talking the entire time. So there's like long spans of time where it was just like silent, but I always had music on, so like to me that made it kind of made it all right. Alrighty, so again, so now we're just going back over with the original base tone because the wash I used darkened everything. And we're basically starting and basically putting it over everything but the darkest spots. So what kind of stuff y'all been printing? I have Gollum sitting on my desk here. That's amazing. My friend backed one of those Kickstarters for like scenery, for like 3D printable scenery. So he's essentially commissioning my printer to print it out. So I've been testing around with that kind of stuff. Although my printer has been not performing great. It's been having a ton of defects recently. I don't entirely know why. I thought it was the nozzle, but then I replaced my nozzle and it's still happening. So I don't entirely know what's going on with it, but there's that. And then I had to print out sounds ridiculous, and it is ridiculous. I had to print out like a bust about this big of Sigmund Freud for Mike's Play. I don't know what the hell they need it for in Mike's Play, but they needed a giant bust of Sigmund Freud. And Mike was like, oh, my brother could probably print us one if there's a bust on Thingiverse. And of course someone has made a bust of Sigmund Freud because why not? Oh, Mikey's here. Hi, Mikey. Mikey, what is that bust of Sigmund Freud? But that was the last thing we printed. That was like a 20-hour print. It was very long. Feel good. Feel good. Random question of the Fireball Island rules. Do you have to give up the heart gem if you get knocked over? I played with all adults for the first time this weekend. It was kind of ruthless. You don't have to. Whenever you get knocked over, the person who gets knocked over gets to choose what treasure they give up. Now, if the only treasure you have is the Heart of Volcar, you do have to give it up. But if you have other treasure, you can choose to give up those ones, and I would highly suggest you do that. me feel good. Let's write our little toesies down here. I forgot about these little toes. I don't know what happened to her face, but her face got kind of messed up. So she's got kind of a real scowl going here. I'm not sure why, but I like it. And it's for the play I'm in where there's a therapist, so we thought it'd be fitting that he has a little bust of Freud that keeps with him. I love it. Makes sense. A wild Mike Murphy appeared. Feel good. Oh, that was a mistake. This was a mistake. This Celestial Gray doesn't work. It's got too much blue in it, which I was worried about, but I didn't think it'd be a big deal. It's got too much blue in it. Okay, I gotta pick something else, and I might just go white then. I almost never use white to punch up a highlight, but I thought that Celestial Gray would be good. It's not. It's too damn blue. It's too darn blue. All right, so I gotta get some more Ogre Cam out. Yeah, I might print out that dice bowl too. I don't know what the hell we'd use it for. We so got that rule wrong. Yeah, Quicksand, that would be a little tough. If you always had to give up the heart, that would be rough. That would be very rough. Okay. Let's get some white. Here's the thing. See, you got to paint minis here, see? Justin's making me print one too. I loved that thing. I thought it was so awesome. Okay, yeah, white was the correct choice. Good job, Nick. You figured it out. Is my music gone? Are we done with this album? I think we are done with this album. Let me switch it up. Hold on. Because I'm getting uncomfortable because there's no sound. You made me feel good. Okay. Let's pick. Oh, no, I was wrong. This is not the end of the album. Oops. Well, we'll have the next one set up. Ooh. Mountain Air. Nordic Melancholy Pop? That sounds weird. That needs to be a Freud Funko Pop. That is so weird. Yeah, see, I don't think I'm going to highlight her that much, her skin, because I want her skin to stay green. And the higher I highlight it, I'm at that more and more white. That is going to take away much of her green color. And I really don't want that. Although I may be able to throw like a green glaze on her afterwards to green her up again. I could probably do that. always have each other. I was early. All right, Roy. I'll see you later, brother. I don't know if you're already gone. Sorry, I didn't look up. I'm highlighting a face, which is stressful. Sorry, you're probably seeing the top of my head. I gotta concentrate here. All right, Mary Lee. We'll see you later, then. That was a mistake. Oh, why'd I do that? Damn it, why'd I do that? I was like, oh, maybe I should throw a highlight in here. No, you shouldn't, Nick. No, you shouldn't. That was dumb. You left it that way for a reason. Oh, I'm making it worse. You're making it worse. Damn it. Now it looks terrible. That's okay. I can throw some more shade down in there and it'll make it better, but that's frustrating to say the least. All right. Add a little bit more white. We're going to do one more highlight and we're good. Hi, Slivies. How's your weekend, Slivers? We will always have each other. All right, final highlight, I think. I'm not entirely happy with that, but I think that's what I got. Weekend was great. A lot of No Man's Sky VR. That's cool. VR still confuses me. Like, I understand what VR is and all kind of stuff, but I've literally never had like a VR headset on or anything like that, and so it's such an interesting concept to me. There's this guy I watch on YouTube who like sculpts stuff in VR and then 3D prints it, and it's super cool. I honestly, it's not one of his main things he does. I wish he'd do it more because I think it's one of the coolest things you could really do. Alrighty, so that is... Oops, bring it down, Nick. So that's her skin highlighted. Looks pretty good. Her face could have done a little better. I'm going to probably throw a little wash on it. Okay, so let's try to think of what I should do next. I know her... Yeah, let's just do her damn... flipping the palette. I'm going to do her dress next, because her dress is going to be a decent amount of work. Slippers, you still printing stuff? I feel like I haven't gotten any printing questions from you in a while. Okay, this one was, poop on a stick. What was it? It was Carrick Stone. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm gonna do her dress here was, I wanted to keep it very simple and very, neutral because I really wanted the bright green of her snake hair to really, really pop out. So I kept her dress just as Carrick Stone, whatever it is. And then I am going to brighten this with some Screaming Skull. Again, a little flow enhancer. Now, for the most part, I wouldn't... Oops, that was a lot of flow enhancer. I won't use flow enhancer every single time. It's just because I'm using these colors again and again and again because I am highlighting, and highlighting takes a while. If I was just doing base colors, I wouldn't use the flow enhancer. It's just not necessary. I would just use water to thin it out and extend the drying time. But even then, I'm hoping to do more and more base coating in... with an airbrush, which is one of the reasons why I got airbrush, because it just goes by so much faster, especially if I'm doing something like these Age of Sigmar guys. These guys are so primarily gold. I mean the vast majority of them is gold. So it's just easier if I can airbrush the gold, which I actually did with these guys. So these guys, I was able to airbrush basically the entire thing in gold, and it took me about, there's 3 of them, it took me about, gosh, I don't know, a minute and a half to do the entire base coat for their gold. Oh, compared to probably 10 to 15, 20 minutes per model. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Not a whole lot lately. Haven't thought of what the hell I want to print the last month or so. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, man, I feel like I haven't heard any printing stuff. That's all right. It's not going anywhere. It's just there. So again, just piss off. Just reapplying the base coat. Going over basically everywhere except for the deepest shadowed areas. I want to keep those in shadows because Otherwise, what the hell was the point of putting the wash on it? Don't undo your work. Okay, I think that's the end. Oh yeah, okay. Where's that? Now we're gonna listen to the. It's called Mountain Air. This album. This is not royalty free music, but we pay to be able to use this site. Oh, I know this song. This song's on another one of their albums. I know this song. But there's a lot of just dropping by to say Money. What's up, Money? How you doing, baby? And I see a Columbotron. How you doing, man? What was your favorite unmatched character to play as, but also paint? Oh, that's aren't the same people. To play as Alice, I really like playing as Alice. She is beastly and super fun with her size changing. To paint, it was probably Bigfoot, although Sinbad was surprisingly a close second. Despite the fact that Sinbad is not wearing much. I really enjoy painting clothes because I enjoy painting folds. I think they're very satisfying to highlight. That's why I like painting people like King Arthur, because he's got a big cape. Big capes are very satisfying to paint. But Sinbad was just fun. Keep hitting this damn bow, which is not the end of the world, because I'm gonna have to probably redo the base coat on the bow anyway. Ooh. Right, hit it. Boom. Nailed it. See, again, the folds of her dress are going to be pretty weird next to all these snacks. So many snacks. Excuse me, lady. Why do you have so many snacks? She's like, I like snakes. You're like, cool, lady. And the folds of her dress are not very round. They're very angular, which is actually going to be kind of a pain to highlight, to be completely honest. Okay, no one said anything or asked anything, so okay, cool. You just realize sometimes I'm like, Nick, you've been looking down for like 15 minutes. You should look up. You should look up. See if anyone said anything profound or rousing or anything, you know? Ooh, man, her dress is a pain to paint. Okay, this is on the Mountain Air album. This makes me feel like Mountain Air. It does not make me think of Mountain Air. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, her dress is a pain. It's gonna look good when it's done, but Jesus. They're just folds and such everywhere. Is this all royalty for music that you were telling me about earlier? This actually is not. This is through a website called Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sound is a site you have to pay for, but essentially is you pay a yearly or I think even monthly fee, and you can use all of the music. There's also like thousands and thousands of sound effects you can use, and you can use all of it as much as you want on your YouTube, Twitch, whatever, anything like that. But you do have to pay for it. And you pay a certain amount based off how big your YouTube channel is. So luckily our YouTube channel is very small comparatively to a lot of other channels. And so it's actually not too bad. But we use that because the quality of music is frankly a little better. And there are many, many times we have used the sound effects part of it very well. And they just have a lot of music. I mean, a ton. So it's not really royalty free because we do pay for it. But yes. So this is a good opportunity, not a good opportunity, a good resource as well. It's something like Epidemic Sound. It's really, really wonderful. Hey, what are your thoughts on Conspiracy? Really think about grab and copy replay factor? I think it's got a lot of replay value. I like it a lot. It's a game that I know based off of like my game group and such won't get played very much just because of how it is. It's also a game that frankly you want at least 3 for. But it is very, very fun, and I like it a lot. I think it's a good time. I think the replay factor is pretty good. But yeah, I like it personally, and again, we are not required to say that we like Restoration Games products, so you can actually take my word for that. Oof. Okay. That might have been a little too light. We're gonna see. Oh crap, we're gonna start dinner like an hour ago or more. Hope your house isn't burned down. It's not snow season yet. You can't have your house burning. I see some raviolis also. Okay, good, my man. Got me worried, brother. Thought we were gonna have a barbecued slivers on our hand. And I like you in many forms, slivers, but barbecue has got to be my least favorite. The barbecue is so yummy. Replay factor is like Nick at the Doctor, fairly high, but in denial. You're 100% right, dude. You know how I do, baby. Sorry, I realize I'm getting off camera trying to get this damn thing too close to my face. Alrighty, that is two highlights. I'm probably gonna do two more. It already looks significantly better than it did. I'm probably gonna do two more and then call it for the dress. Mostly because her dress is so angular, like the folds are very sharp, which means there's actually not that much to highlight because the main thing you have to highlight is the point. Whereas something like this, the kind of big curve around his leg for his dress thingy, there's a big area you have to gradient out the whole thing. When you have very sharp folds like these, there's actually a lot less you can highlight. Which is both good and bad. Good because it means you have to do a lot less work, but bad because I don't think it looks quite as good once it's done. But that's how it goes. So I discovered pork rinds today for the first time. For someone on keto, it's a great snack. Really, I don't think I've ever actually tried pork rinds. I think I've just always assumed I wouldn't like it. And pork rinds are keto friendly. Really? I mean, I guess they're probably mostly just fat. That's super interesting. I would never have called that. So help me love those things. As does the oldest cat. If you're not careful, he'll yoink them out of your bowl. That's metal. We have two new kittens in the house. We had to put our cat down last week here at my place. And so my roommates got two new kittens. Brand new little kittens. So they're running around being a damn delight. I keep trying to get a good picture of them, but I don't think they trust me yet. So I can get close to them, but I can't like hold them yet. So hopefully soon. I don't know why I have to approve this message, but apparently I do. Yeah, it's just pork skin and salt, no carbs. That's so interesting. I guess it makes sense, though. Kittens are really still enough for a good pick. Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm trying to get a pick of when they finally get tuckered out, and they're like sitting on my chest or something like that. That's when I'll try to get a good picture. Because kittens do not stop moving. You've lost about 30 pounds on keto. That's wild. That's wild. Okay, got one of my Blood Rage armies done via contrast paint. Perrin, how do you like that contrast paint? I've watched some videos on it, and it seems to be getting kind of mixed results. I'm curious if someone who's one of the fam that's actually tried it. It does seem to make things significantly easier. Okay. I'm gonna do one more highlight, and then I need to actually go back and hit some mid-tone again. But no, we don't with the dress. And then she's basically done, with the exception of her bow, which I'm not really going to highlight much just because I don't care that much, to be completely honest. Although it is facing directly up, I'm probably going to have to highlight it at least a little bit. Even though I don't really want to. And what? We're about an hour and a half in or so? Okay, cool. I paint very slow, everybody. I just want to let y'all know now. Just in case anyone's like, oh, you're taking so long. I'm like, yep, this is how long I take. I do not paint quickly, especially her. I'm hoping Alice will be a little bit quicker. Medusa here, she's got a decent amount of intricacy. Okay, so I need to hit one more mid-tone area right here on this dress. This part's too dark. I think I'm just going to go back with the basic Carrick stone. It's crazy to paint with. Once you get it down, it's pretty great for doing armies. Yeah, that's kind of what it seems like. I'm doing my Blood Rage armies monochrome, so it works perfect. That does sound great. Okay, let's see if this is going to be good. Just want some slightly lighter on the bottom edge of this one, because these would be lighter. Ooh, that already looks better. Okay. I was too focused on the highlights. Didn't hit my midtones here well enough. Is there anywhere else I didn't hit my midtones well enough? Probably right here. Probably right there. Alright, that's better. Alright, let's just go a little bit into here. Just a little bit lighter. Not that light, Nick. Not that light. There we go. And we're just going to hit that a little bit more. Yeah, that's better. All right, cool. Sweet. All right, her dress is done. That is great. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting on her bow, but I really want it to stay pretty darn dark because I liked the idea of a dark bow. And then I do a teeny bit of metallic highlighting for her necklace thing. And then she gonna be done, fam. Cool. Xiaomi Pigman! I love it. I wish I had a Pigman model I could paint. I'd paint the hell out of Pigman. Alright, I was going to add some XV, or my XV88. XV88, where are you? Here it is. Just going to add some... No, actually, I'm not going to add XV88. I'm going to add Morphing Brown, obviously, to this. Just going to do these real quick. Okay. Alright, that's all I'm doing for this. I don't want to do much more. It is unnecessary. It's just a bow, and the bow is not the focal point for this model. Boom. Alright, cool. All right, Cheryl. We'll see you later. And we'll be on Gen Con stream tomorrow, so hopefully we'll see you all there. I see you made a lamp purchase. I actually did not. I stole this from my roommate. But I got this because of you. And honestly, I don't need this lamp. This lamp honestly works fine for me. The problem is when I'm using this lamp, I'm completely blown out and it drives me crazy. So that's why I wanted this. I wanted it for streaming purposes. Honestly, when I'm painting just by myself, I actually probably will not use this. So joke's on you. No worries, Sean Bean. Do your thing, brother. Just doing a quick highlight on this. Boom, that's it. That's all I'm doing. All right, we got some quick little metal highlights, and then we are donezo, McScrunzos. Just punching up her gold real quick. Boom. Everyone else is out watching the sunset. Cool. While waiting on my daughter's watching with me. Hello, Sean Bean's daughter. I believe her name is John Bean. No, probably not John. What's a girl name that's on? Dawn Bean. Called it. Nailed it. First try. All right, Perrin. See you later. You got it, Funky. Funky side. So this one, she's got a couple metallics. She's got here on the bow, these little cuffs on the bow. And then the tip down here. And that's all I'm going to do for this. I don't need to highlight this further. Y'all get it. It's a bow. It's an arrow. Alrighty, people. I think... yeah, her face got messed up. I don't know when or how, but it sure did. Alrighty, I'm gonna throw a new wash on her chest area because I stupidly highlighted it when I was like, I should put this here. Then and right when I was about to do it, my brain was like, don't do that. Yeah, I did. And her middle name is Danger. Jean Bean. Damn. Jean Bean. You ain't wrong, baby. You ain't wrong. Alrighty, fam. That is Medusa. Alrighty, so we'll take her out of her thing. We'll go bam. So, again, I'll post better pictures later. I really like the way her snakes turned out. I really like the way her dress turned out. I think overall this one turned out really cool. I think it's a good mini. It's very, very cool. Yeah, I think this turned out okay. That turned out okay. Does David watch these streams you painting his minis? Well, these are my minis, but I don't sometimes, yeah, which is weird because he's literally in like the next room. But yeah, sometimes. I think he does at least. All right, next up is Alice. Woo. Oh, man. Oh. All right, so hopefully Alice will take some less time. Oh, her skin is blue. Oh, shoot. Oh, her skin is like blue. I didn't realize that. I mean, that's no biggie. I made her skin kind of green, but... Huh. I also didn't realize that I was following the color of her dress the same. Interesting. All right. Okay, so... with Alice, I'm going to start with her skin because she doesn't have much showing. It's just her arms. Honestly, her legs down here won't really get a highlight because they're completely covered by her skirt. And she's got a big poofy skirt. So I don't think... Yeah, see, underneath her skirt here, we're not going to need to highlight any of that. Even her boots aren't going to get much highlight because, again, like, she's very much on top of her... She's standing very, very straight, which means her dress will get a highlight. The back here will get a decent highlight. But she actually doesn't have that much to highlight, to be completely honest. And so that'll be kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and start with her skin. Now, I have to remember how the hell I made her skin. I know it was a mix between brown and blue. I was imagining David screaming painting suggestions in the other room. I wish he did that. And then what blue? I think I put Calidor Sky. I may have to funk around with this a bit. Funky do, funkin' around. To get the skin tone again, because I had to mix to get to the skin tone. The problem is when you add blue and brown, it makes... and then I think I added a little bit of red to bring it back into... that's actually not bad. Let's bring a little... Oh, maybe I did these. Brown and blue? Okay, yeah. African American skin, or just black skin, not necessarily African Americans, the undertone oftentimes is blue. I learned that from Kehinde Wiley. So I knew if I wanted to get a nice dark skin tone, I probably need to add blue to it. But that blue and that brown made kind of a greenish. And that wasn't what I was looking for. So maybe I use this really reddish brown and blue. I know I added blue. I know that. I don't remember what blue. I really should have like taken a picture of it. or something. Ooh, I think this was it. Okay. This actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, yeah. I think that might have been it. And then, okay, so what to add to this? I don't think this was perfectly it, but it's probably close enough. And then what to add to this to highlight it? All right, that'll work. Oh, Joe, thank you so much for that super chat. I think that's what those are called, right? Super chat. I am done painting. Thanks for hanging with me. Joel, thank you so much for that $2, brother. I really appreciate that, man. That's very, very, very kind of you. And no problem. Thanks for hanging with me, man. Like, that's where the real thanks is. I mean, I've been painting this whole weekend alone, so I'm happy to have y'all. This is great. All right, our over emotional moments. Let's not listen to that. Drama aftermath. Let's also not listen to that. Between oceans. Let's do this. Probably a very good oceany beat. Honestly, if I can find some like chill ass trap beats, that would be great. I'm still so curious of what Nordic melancholy pop is. We may have to try that. Actually, you know what? We're trying Nordic melancholy pop. I'm so curious. Wow, that is... What? There's no way. Someone write banana in chat. I'm trying to figure out how much of a delay there is. Because based off of my little preview thing here in YouTube, I am still working on Medusa. And I stopped working on Medusa like 10 minutes ago. And I'm not even like that far into it. Someone wrote banana in chat. Okay, so this was never. So did I say Nordic melancholy pop? I did. Okay, so then this preview thing is way far behind. Because... do I ever make wet palettes to save colors for later? No. Banana. Thank you, Slivers. Okay, so it's only like a minute and a half behind. Okay, thank you, Slivers. And I'm sure a lot more bananas are going to come in. There you go. There's some more bananas. That is weird. I wonder why that preview is so far behind. That preview is seriously like at least 10 minutes behind. Very interesting. Yes, Nordic melancholy pop. That's what we're going to listen to because I have absolutely no... Oh, the first one is an explicit song. We may have to turn this one off. We're trying to keep it family friendly. What does that even mean? An explicit Nordic melancholy song? Come on. Also, this may be... All right. What is this? All right. No, I don't make wet palettes. I want to. I don't have a good method for it right now. Shoot, I am waiting. This is drying out of me. Crap. Okay. I don't know if I can handle this. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that, Slivers. I hear that. But no, I need a better method for saving my wet palettes. I don't really want to buy one of those wet palette things because they're just it's unnecessary. You can make your own, but I don't have a good way of saving it, and I don't have a good container to make my wet palette in. So I need to, but that's why I'm using the flow enhancer. If I had a wet palette, I would not need to use my flow enhancer. I can't handle this song. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't do this. You better not F up. I can't. Speaking of Scandinavian music, my mom owns a Nordic track. Airtight Tupperware, damp paper towel, a piece of parchment paper on top. Yeah, I know. The problem with, like, I usually use this Tupperware right here. The problem is this one, the walls are way too high. So when I'm trying to get, I have to get like in here, and it really bothers me. So I want to find like a decent, honestly, I would love it if it was like this size. But this one has like no lip, and that's what I like about it. I want it to have like no lip. So I need to find a good method for it, because I really don't like the one I was using, to the point where I stopped using it, even though it did make my life way easier and made me use much less paint. And what is a Nordic track, Atlas? I don't know what that means. A very small one meant for sandwiches. Okay, that works. Yeah, that's my main thing, is I need to find the right container, and I have not yet. The thing about Alice is she does not have very prominent brows. Because the cheekbones, the nose, and the brows are usually the main thing you highlight on a Minnie's face. I see. A Nordic track, yeah, that's right. I know what that damn thing is. I got it. A Nordic track, that's right. I knew it sounded familiar, a damn Nordic track. I was like, that sounds familiar. It was. It's a treadmill. Playing 7x7 King Domino with the Weef. Oh, that's dope. I love me some King Domino. And 7x7 King Domino is just the way to play. That's why it showed up in Mike and I's top 10 games that are best at 2 players. King Domino. Because 7x7, it's the way to play. Although, AJ, baby, did you get the King Domino Duel? Because I really like that one. Mike and I got to play that on stream soon. Ruel, my man, how are you? I miss your beautiful face, dude. We did not. I kind of regret it. I want a way to pick it around Black Friday at the friendly local game store. The whole store is 30-50% off. That's wild. Yeah, King Domino Duel is great. How about a game of Viticulture the next strategic on Ruel? Dude, you have no idea how badly I would love that to happen. Abso-freaking-lutely, dude. Let's please do that. Let's please hang out. You're just the freaking best, dude. What are you up to, my man? How's the Cucamonga? Okay. All right, Alice is coming along. She actually, the sculpt of her face is actually really, really good. It's very smooth. It's very subtle, but it's quite nice looking. And I was actually really worried about the highlight of it, but it's actually going quite well. No, that's too much, Nick. All right, this may be the last highlight. I may punch up a bit more on her face, but Yes, right back at you, brother. The 909 is good, but I'm tired of the 100-degree plus weather. Yeah, it's actually been relatively mild out here. Like I can't think of a day we've had over 100. It has been very mild in the valley, which has been very odd. Usually it's extremely hot out here. You went to, oh, that's right, you went to an amusement park. I saw the picture, Missy. That sounded fun though. I bet you are tired. Oh no, what happened? Oh, thank God. Ooh, thought that was almost a disaster. Which amusement park did you take him to? Okay, that's your skin. I love it. I think it turned out really good, actually. Um, barely lost 150, 144. Should have every cave and desert crown tile, but every ocean tile to counter. That was very fun as always. Awesome. Yeah, King Domino was great. Yesterday, I did a wash on all the Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea minis. I have the pre-painted heroes, which was nice since I haven't fully dived into painting yet. It's a full-time job when you do, man. So put off diving into it for as long as possible. It's great, but man, does it take a long time to do everything. Um, but yeah, I saw your tweet. I heard you were a fan, my good man. And I'm pumped about that. That's awesome. I want to try Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. Let's do. No, let's do her. I was gonna. Let's do her boots, but let's do her dress. Let's do her dress. All right. So her dress is gonna be kind of interesting because of the fact that it's kind of flat, with the exception of in the back where it poofs out a little bit. So the thing is about that flatness is it actually won't get highlighted that much because of the fact that it's flat. It wouldn't actually catch that much light if the light was coming from directly above, as it is in my world. It's called Michigan Adventure, owned by the same people who made Cedar Point. That's cool. The only thing about these little claw thingies is they sometimes bend the bases of my minis, and I don't like it. Okay. Let's do a dress. Let's stop procrastinating and do a dress. All right, so the dress started off with Lothern blue, and I'm going to be adding more and more Fenrisian gray to it, which is a very blue, very, very blue gray. I really want to go to Cedar Point. I love amusement parks. I love the biggest, baddest, craziest roller coasters. I want to go on them all. And I'm very sad that Cedar Point is so far away. That may be a little bit too watered down. Said, Heroes of Legendary Sea was one of the first games I ever played at Murph Game Night. That was when I met the Pinades. You guys played Heroes of Legendary Sea at our game night? I mean, you're welcome, obviously. Everything good you have is because we're in your life. I know that. Everyone knows that. Cedar Point was your childhood? I bet, Atlas. I bet. Dude, that's like my dream, dude. I want to go on the crazy... I would love to do that. Do like a year-long tour of just the biggest, craziest roller coasters in the whole world. Oh, it's a 2-hour drive from my place, dude. You have no idea. I'd be there all the time. We have Disneyland. I'll take Disneyland. I like Disneyland. But Disneyland is not good for rides. The rides are great, but it's not good for roller coasters. There is a distinct difference between roller coasters and the kind of rides that Disneyland has. So again, taking the same base coat and basically covering up the vast majority of the skirt again. Oh, I guess her dress again. This isn't a skirt. Nothing beats Cedar Point for roller coasters. Yeah, that's what I hear. That's what I've always heard. Ooh. Damn it, just hit her shirt. I've actually been doing really, really good at not hitting other areas. A lot of times when I'm highlighting, I end up hitting other areas of the model and then have to redo those parts and redo those parts and redo those parts. This one I've actually done really good at not doing that, which has been lovely. And then I immediately just did it right there, but... Too much paint in my bristles. So one of these days, Nick, you and Mike fly to Detroit. We'll go to Cedar Point, dude. You have no idea how gladly I do that. I mean, we'll probably come out to. Oh shoot, we'll probably come out to Detroit at some point or another because that's where Mike's lady's mom, Joy, lives. Most of you know her as Mom Rights, but she lives in Detroit, so there is a very good chance at least Mike will go to Detroit at some point. Not to mention, that's where Atlas Films, his family is. And we're basically part of his family at this point. Alrighty, and then I'm just going to hit the parts of the sword that I made blue. I'm just going to hit those again right here. Boom. Don't hit her face. Don't hit her face, please. Thank you. We will. What's up, Dutch? How you doing, bruh? Keep an eye out for your prints, Mr. Dutch. I sent them out earlier this week, and so they are on their way. I meant to message you on Discord, and I totally forgot to say, like, oh, by the way, yeah, they're on their way. Although I've had somewhat bad luck sending stuff to Europe. I've had bad luck getting my stuff damaged, and also not understanding how to write foreign addresses on a customs sheet. I had to send a Star Wars print to Portugal 3 times because I could not understand how to write her damn address. Ooh, Cedar Point Little Trout? Oh, dude. It's like my dream, dude. Alrighty. So hitting, again, I don't entirely know what these things are, but I added the pink and blue to her sword, which I thought would look cool, and it does. Alright, so that's the base. I mean, honestly, her dress looks great just like this. I'm going to highlight it, but man, I almost don't really need to. Hi, Steve. Is everyone looking here tonight? Just finished Game 3 of Aeon's End. Very cool. It's good to see you, sir. Mom Rights is closer to Ann Arbor than Detroit, but the Detroit airport is not in Detroit either. Don't you love when that happens? Yeah, I should have said we'll be coming out to Michigan at some point. That's what I should have said. Oops. All right, so add, piss off, add a bit of Cinresian gray to this. Ooh, that gray is very strong. Wow, okay. And see, I really like how blue her dress is. I really don't want to lose that. So I may end up not highlighting her dress too much because I really like that kind of blue. And so I don't want to lose that by putting in a ton of this gray. I mean, I want to highlight it some, but shoot. Actually just painted right in the middle of that, that recessed section. You can't really tell, but that is not what you want to do. So for these, I'm just putting a little bit of edge highlight on them, even though they wouldn't really be getting it. I just want to have them pop out a little bit. I think I'm done. Oh, I like that album. I think it's done though. Oh shoot. Okay. Let's go back. Let's try new music. Colors of Autumn. We're almost ready for that one. Not quite though. Ooh, gloomy trap. Yeah. So I want some chill ass trap music right now. Future bass. Hilarious. Just did it again. This one is made by someone named the Bonkers Beat Club. Love it. I like that. Ooh. All right, let's do like one more highlight and we'll probably be good. In person soon. What days will be at ShishiCon? I don't know. Mike will only be there Sunday. I'm gonna try and be there Saturday, Sunday. I'm not gonna drop a little freestyle. um. Ugh, it's too thin. All right, AJ, I'll see you later, bro. I do know where to find you, sure. Metro Deport represent. Like, do I got a freestyle? So Nick, when it comes to painting minis, I'm the best in class. Just don't get offended when I whisper ass, ass, ass. Oh, let me try to get to the beach. When it comes to painting minis, I'm the best in the class. Just don't get offended when I whisper ass, ass, ass. That worked great. If you do get offended by the word ass, I mean, I just don't know what to tell you. We say it so much. When it comes to painting, I'm the best in the class. Just don't get offended when I whisper ass, ass, ass. I think that's as far as I'm going to take the highlight on her dress. I really want it to stay that blue color, and it's already starting to lose some of it with the gray. And it's just the folds are already shaded, and that's the thing I really need to shade. And so it's like, it's productive. It's just done. That's good. Okay, so as we have the pink, which again is not much, and then her shoes, and that's pretty much it. She's pretty easy, as I thought she was going to be. Let's see her do this one. Hold on. All right, hold on. When it comes to minis, wait, hold on. Oh, the beat just changed. I had it perfectly. Okay, hold on. Here we go. When it comes to painting minis, I'm the best in the class. Just don't get offended when I whisper ass, ass, ass. Oh, it worked perfectly. I was waiting for the beat drop, and it happened perfectly. Oh, that was so good. All right, let's do her shirt. Oh, yeah, I was hoping to keep this around 3 hours. That's what we got. Okay, cool. Again, Jimmy, it is, I am not kidding, one of Mike and I's main goal is to make enough money where we can hire you as a writer. Hold on. Were the previous painting streams we saw before just the base coat or these new minis? Now that was just the base coat. Now we're highlighting. And I did all the base coats before I started highlighting any of them, which is why it's taken a while. Which I usually don't do. Usually I do one mini like start to finish. And only then do I start working on another one. But this one, I did it differently for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure, honestly. Jimmy, you better be down, baby, because you ain't got no much of a choice. We're going to kidnap you. Okay, so let me... Still love those boots. I need some in real life. You do need some of these in real life. Okay, that's that pink. Just gonna lighten it up with some white. I think I'm only gonna do one highlight, more highlight of this. I can ghost write all your board game raps. Dude, I'm so down. Up! I thought she fell in paint. I was about to be freaking pissed. do one more highlight, and that's gonna be it. Alrighty, that's gonna be her shirt. Very simple, very easy. Love it. Alrighty, we are almost done. I have to do like the metal parts and then her boots. And again, her boots are they're right underneath her giant skirt, and so they're honestly not too much to there's not too much to highlight, to be completely honest. All right, let's so we'll start off with Xerxes purple, and I may add a bit of Gene Stealer purple to it, but I honestly am not even sure if I'm going to, because I don't know if there's going to be enough room for highlighting. I mean, really, the only thing that would be highlighted is the tips of her boots, like this part down here. But even then, like, I honestly, that's pretty much covered in shadow as well. I just kind of want to highlight them a little bit, because if I don't highlight them at all, it would feel odd if something had absolutely no highlight whatsoever. I feel like it would look strange, even if it made sense. Yeah. Yeah, we can highlight the back of her boots. Looks great. Her boots were made. God, Freudian sleep right there. Her boots were made for walking. Has this been said already? Sorry if so. No, I'm pretty sure you're the first one, Ruel. Alright, there's the basic reapplication for her boots. And then let's go ahead and highlight it up a little bit. You are right, Missy. All right, we're gonna do one more highlight on the boots, and that's gonna be it for the boots. Well, yeah, I might highlight there. I might highlight that green and pink on them a teeny bit, even though again the highlight would not hit that spot, but it's kind of like whatever, you know. All right, that's her boots highlighted. Cool. Matt Covington, howdy. Howdy. How are you? All right, I'm just going to do it quick. Quick highlight on her boots, on the pink parts and the pink and the green parts. Just literally like one swipe highlights and that's it. Matthew Jude, your beautiful little heart, how are you? Said, Nick, I can't sleep, kill me. Dude, you're still awake? Dude, I am very sorry. What can I do? I will do anything in my power to help you sleep. Been super busy. That's what it seems like, man. I feel like we have not seen you in... God, it feels like more than 6 months, even. How are you doing, Matt? Alrighty, there are her boots. I'm gonna give it a miss when I try it tomorrow. Oh my gosh, baby, I'm so sorry. Had a second kid and moved to a new house this weekend. That's a lot. That explains her absence, Matt. That'll do it. Oh, we're not done with our gloomy trap. I thought we were done. Okay, so I got the metal left, and that's it. That is gonna be it after that. Woo! Then we're gonna be done, with the exception of the bases, but the bases are quite easy, so I'm not worried about them. Screw it. A lullaby freestyle. Write me a lullaby freestyle and I'll rap it. And I understand that if you write it for me, it's not a freestyle anymore, but I don't care. I honestly understand that, Matthew. The getting stressed out the longer you're awake. You fall asleep to rot or run through? Really? I mostly fall asleep to stand up. Alrighty. Okay. Let's just do that little bit of brass right there. And I think we're going to call it. Reading. Yeah, no, reading doesn't do it for me. I don't know why. I read and read and read, and then I get really, really excited. And not excited. I get really excited. No, I read, I get really, really tired, but the second I put the book down and try to go to bed, I wake back up again. It really is annoying. I get really excited when I read. Reading's a new thing for me, and I just learned. All right, Matthew, I love you, brother. I'll talk to you very soon. We're recording on Wednesday, so I'll see you then, bro. Well, I hear you. I have done that many times. Okay. I think we're calling that one. All right, yeah, she was easier than Medusa. Medusa was probably the hardest one to highlight, to be completely honest. Her and weirdly Robin Hood was hard to highlight. Okay, so I think our trap album is done. Okay, so this is a little too close, Nick. So we got Alice. She's the one who probably looks the least different from her base coat to this. She really didn't have that much to highlight because her dress, again, is very flat. Compared to someone like Medusa, who's like just has so many things to highlight with, you know, her dress and her hair and her skin. Like, I mean, it's just an immense amount of stuff. But I think they both turned out pretty good. I got to paint the bases, but that's about it. And yeah, I think that's going to be it, my fam. Alrighty, so we got the full lineup. We got Medusa. Can I get her on camera there? Medusa. And Alice. King Arthur. Robin Hood. Sinbad. And the biggest of all feet, Mr. Foot. Alrighty, people. Alright, well, I'll see you later. Oh, I am heading out. Ooh, I love all the ones. Alrighty, people, I'm going to head out as well. This has been a long stream, and your boy is tired. Thank you for being here for this. Again, I have to do the bases a little bit, but basically, these are basically, see what I did there? Are basically done. And these are the first things I've painted top to bottom on stream, so that's pretty cool and exciting. But they are all done. Thank you for being here for the journey. This has been awesome and fun. I do hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. For a lot of you in the East Coast, it's quite late. The West Coast, it's getting late. We'll be on Gen Con's stream tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're playing. Probably something from Gen Con, though. But yeah, we will see you all later. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and bye.